to order. And this time we revert to our agenda, which is the submission by the economic managers that we are in receipt of as requested by Senator Drilon during the previous hearings. This is signed by Secretary Dominguez of Finance, Secretary Carl Chua of NEDA, and while the name of the DBM USEC Acting Secretary Tina Kanda is here, it doesn't appear to be signed, at least in my copy. In any case, we are in receipt of this and would simply like to comment on a number of things. Firstly, may I say that there seems to be rather quixotic logic in that they say on one hand that it is the business and economic environment that determines foreign investment. However, they also speak of the failure of ecozones to address the advantages of creating or locating foreign industry in an ecozone. The issues of infrastructure and the failure of our IT, the red tape that is complained of repeatedly, particularly with the circuitous immigration requirements for foreign employers, as well as the real synergy involved in locating in one place for a foreign community. Secondly, there is mysteriously no mention at all of the creature in CREATE. That is the FIRB. It is, as we know clearly in the legislature, there are many congressmen here, the FIRB is led also by the Secretary of Finance and the economic managers. They requested this agency, and certainly in CREATE, Section 297, the expanded functions of such are so broad-based as to be able to determine the life and death of every ecozone. It exercises policy making and oversight. It establishes target performance metrics. It audits the compliance of all ecozones to government requirements. It even imposes the minimum contiguous land area, monitors and evaluates the investment, and even the agreed target performance metrics, even formulating place-specific strategic investment plans in the event of a disaster or a calamity. Hence, to my mind, the FIRB, with such expansive functions, can surely address the queries in the letter or the joint position regarding master plans, feasibilities, and so on, which are in any case already here in the committee. So with that, I would like to state my the committee's objection or dispute with this joint position, it giving no truck at all for any new ecozones in the near future. Thank you very much, and I invite the minority leader to comment similarly on this economic managers joint position paper.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good morning to our resource persons, the proponents of the various economic zones in the provinces. Madam Chair, as the records will show, we pushed for this enactment and favorable action by the committee and by the plenary of these various special economic zones bills. And we did push for this in the hope that we can give real meaning to the devolution of powers that our Constitution mandates. These bills would give real meaning to the authority and recognize the authority of the local governments to craft and to craft their own economic future. We have tried in the past hearing to find out what we can do to respond to the objections of the economic managers. We even propose that if the issue is the expense, the budget, I think there was a unanimous support for a proposal to uh, require that 50% of the capital outlay be shouldered by the local government. We had also proposed a few other provisions which would respond to the objections of the economic managers, including a sunset clause, which again the local government units agreed to, realizing that indeed there may be a need to review a particular economic zone given our experience with the other established economic zones. That is why we ask, after making all these proposals, we ask the Department of Finance, the economic managers, to state for the record their position on this. And unfortunately, the letter that was furnished us yesterday indicated the never yielding opposition of the Secretary of the Economic Managers. There is no compromise proposed. Take into account the interests of everyone, all parties. It is in this regard that we are saddened by this development, Madam Chair. We do realize that the economic managers say is very critical insofar as the power of the president to approve or veto this bill. And for the record, let me state that I have noted that over the past several years, more and more, the legislative branch has slowly yielded its power over policy issues. And the executive has more and more exercised its prerogative without regard to the sentiments of Congress as a policy-making body. And it is a sad commentary on this development in our government, but this is what we face today. So today we are confronted with a situation where if if the bills are passed, uh, chances are it will be vetoed. But for my part, I firmly believe that the local government should be given the opportunity to be able to plot their own economic future and social and political future. And one of them is to enable. One of these is to allow the establishment of the economic zones within the parameters of the present policies, including the final say of the FIRB on what the incentives will be, including tapping the local government. If they want this, they must be responsible and contribute their share in capital outlay and other budgetary items. But this has fallen into deaf ears. We are confronted with this situation. I believe that we should assert our authority to enact this policy consistent with, and this is consistent with the power, with the principle of devolution. But the reality that we face is that the economic managers will uh, state their position before the president, and that leaves this committee not many choices. But you know, sometimes I have the luxury of taking a position because I am in the minority. But in this particular case, I think we are correct in insisting that these bills should be enacted by Congress. Having said that, Mr. President, Madam Chair, I submit to the wisdom of the committee. Thank you very much.
Madam
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, thank you very much, Minority Leader. We are in unison in saying that these bills are urgently required for rural development, particularly in the age after COVID. So we are left with very few alternatives, if truth be told. I will endorse this nevertheless to the plenary, but hold in abeyance any debate until such time as we get more clarity on many of these positions taken in the paper submitted by the economic managers. Being that, for example, as mentioned by Senator Drilon, there is a section indicating that no public funds at all should be spent, even if they come from local coffers. The governor of Marinduque, as well as myself, many of the congressmen who are here present, Nene, Johnny, and the rest, know full well that this is a patent violation of the financial autonomy of local government units to determine their expenditure, their budget, and other financial matters. So with that, I would like to invite the financial managers, the authors of this position paper, perhaps DOF, NEDA, and the rest would like to um, make a rejoinder in this case, since we are in unity, both minority and majority, with regard to the position paper. I think ASEC Brion is here once again. There's DOF Masigan, Julie Bato, Marco Mendoza, Tommy Redula, I believe Arvin Quiñones, Christian D. It's very clear that the DOF has a whole armada here present. So please tell us what to make of this position paper. I'm sorry, I think the committee secretary has not recognized everyone.
Good morning, Senator, and good morning, Honorable Franklin Dillon, and all the congressmen present. For today's public hearing, the Department of Finance is represented by ASEC Valerie Joy Brion. They also have Julie Bato, Tommy Redulia, Christine Masigan, Christian D., and Arvin Quiñones. For the National Economic Development Authority, they have Yusek Mercedita A. Sombilia, Remedios, Director Remedios S. Endencia, their OIC Chief Economic Development Specialist Fresita Araneta, Leia, they also have Leia Viña Georgia El Valdelion, their Senior Economic Development Specialist. Likewise, Miss Marie Antoinette T. Matibag. For the representative of the 4th District of Cebu, for Honorable Janice Salimbangon, we have Attorney George Decal. Also in the also for the municipality of Medellin, we have Mr. Giles Villamor. Governor Presbyterio J. Velasco Jr. is also present, together with Attorney Romel Fernandez and Ms. Marian Cunanan. For the representative of Occidental Mindoro, we have, as ever present, Honorable Josephine Nene Y. Ramirez Sato, and for the governor of Occidental Mindoro, he is represented by Attorney Tirso Augustus L. Abelleda. We also have the representative of Ilocos Sur, Honorable Deogracias Victor DVV Savaliano, and for the representative of Surigao del Sur, we have Honorable Johnny T. Pimentel, and the mayor of San Jose, Mayor Romulo Fistin. For the Bislig component city, we have Engineer Aprodecio Alba. For the governor of the province of Bohol, they are represented by the Bohol Investment Promotion, as well as Governor Arthur Siak. The representative of Bacolod is also with us, Honorable Greg G. Gasataya. And for the mayor of Bacolod City, she is represented by Mr. George Sulupeta, together with Attorney Vanessa Encabo and Councilor Renesito Novero. That's all, Senator.
Thank you very much. And once again, we call on the DOF and the NEDA to give us enlightenment on the difficult points that we find here in the joint position paper. Asik Briones.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Your Honors. On the part of the Department of Finance, the request for the economic managers was to come up with a position paper with the guidelines. And through the position paper that we submitted over the weekend, Madam Chair, the guidelines, we actually adopted the guidelines for creation of eco-zones that the PEZA uses. And also on the point about the co-financing scheme, we requested our PLGF to provide data on the era dependency of the LGUs where these economic zones are proposed. And based on our findings, out of the 15 local government units, only 2 LGUs, that's Bacolod and Iloilo City, actually have internal revenue allotment of over 1 billion and annual regular income of 1 billion. The 1 billion figure, Madam Chair, is the co-financing requirement of the LGU under the proposed bills. On the issue, Madam Chair, of the sunset clause, we also do not support the proposal, considering that this can be considered as an uncertainty by the business investors and may actually not be inviting as well for those investors who may want to locate to these proposed economic zones. I will end there, Madam Chair, and perhaps Yusek Mercy from NEDA would want to add, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes, the chair recognizes Yusek Sombilia if she's here.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm just turning on my video. Okay, yeah. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Senator Drilon and all those participants. It's not that we don't, we hinder the development of eco zones. It's just that we want sana po all the documents that, that are already mentioned in the PESA law to be there para we really ensure that they are going to be successful. And for them to do this, we don't even need the law. We have already all the laws that covers them. It's just, preparing all the documents to make sure that they indeed are going to, to make, to succeed. Yun lang po naman ang kailangan namin. I don't think the economic managers really hinders, creating these eco zones. It's just that we want them really to, show that they're going to be successful. And those are just on the basis of the documents that are already, very much defined in existing laws. Yun lang po naman. And
yes,
that is why...
with all due respect, I'm in full cognizance of what you are saying, that we should obey the law. We are the lawmakers. After all, we're
Yes.
certainly not about to become the lawbreakers. However, if truly all these visionary laws are in place, and that all we need to do is complete documentation, why does the Philippines continue to be the laggard in foreign investment throughout the region?
Madam Senator, that's
why
why
does
we are...
poverty continue to plague 60% of the population? Why
Yeah.
does Mindanao continue to fall behind and encompass the great impoverished bulk of our population in the South? Kung talagang maganda na yung ating mga batas at napakagagaling nating lahat, bakit napakahirap pa rin ng karamihang Pilipino?
That's why, Madam Chair,
Yes, please.
Yeah, that is why, there are new reforms, which all of us think, would really,
No, but these are not new forms. You're going right back to PEZA, to BOI, to DPWH, to the RDCs under NEDA, and so on, so forth. Panahon pa ng tatay ko yung mga yan.
No, Madam Chair, the CREATE is already there, and it provides all the incentives, to any investors, and they can locate anywhere. They don't need to locate in an ego zone. They can
But aren't the
locate
safeguards also all found in CREATE through the FIRB, which is glaringly absent in the position paper? There is not a single mention of the FIRB that, in fact, the DOF and NEDA requested from the legislature.
Asek Brion, can you respond to that FIRB thing? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusek. I don't want to engage you in debate, but forgive the emotional outburst, but we need to give our provinces a chance.
Madam Chair, may I just say something about PESA?
Yes, thank you very much. Congressman Divi has a reaction.
Yeah, Madam Chair, it's true that PESA has, they have the law already. But the PESA now is operating as they're just legalizing the illicit trade of tobacco, the manufacturing of tobacco. If you look at for example, the GB Global that they got 2 billion worth of illegal cigarettes, Madam Chair, paano nakapasok sa PESA yon if they have the laws and they're implementing all the laws? Bakit nangyayari ito sa akin? And the government's losing billions.
Yes, we're aware that many of the PESA outposts have been used for rampant cigarette, agriculture, and other smuggling. Sang-ayon po ko kay Congressman Divi. At saka, wag naman ninyong linalait yung Ilocos Sur. You said that only Iloilo and Bacolod have the capacity to pay the 50% suggested by Senator Drilon. Alam ba ninyo kung magkano yung 7-awan ng Ilocos Sur? Bilyon-bilyon po yan. Nagmumukha tayong pulubi sa katabi nila. Hindi lang naman ang ira ang bilang dyan. Kayo naman.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Congresswoman Sato. Thank you very much, Divi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In addition to what the Madam Chair has said, and also what Senator Drilon has said, I would just want to add that the economic managers are pointing to the RA 7916, or the creation of the PESA, but nothing in that law vests upon the PESA the exclusive authority to establish ecozones.
Yes.
And Madam Chair, our position that the existing policy of developing ecozones has been too centralized and urban center-centric, devoid of grounding on local development challenges and realities. This is supported by the Congressional Policy and Research Development Report, which cites that in 2018, for example, there were 395 operating special economic zones. And half of this, take note, 180 ecozones are located in the National Capital Region. And 168 of the ecozones are in the IT industries. Only 22, I repeat, only 22 of the operating economic zones are agri-industrial. So very little priority is given to rural-based investment initiatives. So investment opportunities in rural provinces like Occidental, Mindoro are not given much attention and is not in the priority of the PESA and other agencies that they claim to be in charge of these economic zones. And tama po yung sinabi nyo na para namang minamaliit po ang mga probinsya. Napaka-innovative na po ng mga local government units at mga local government executives. Hindi lamang po naman sa IRA kukunin yan. Marami po naman kaming pwedeng pagkuhanan. Yun mo makikita kung paano yung galing sa lokal na maghanap ng ibang pundo. Hindi lamang po naman sa IRA manggagaling yan. At yung sinasabi po that they would just want to ensure the success. Hindi niyo po makiklaim na kayo lang po ang may ano. Kung sino po ang talagang may gusto na mag-succeed diyan, kami pong nasa local. Dahil ang amin pong kinabukasan ang nakasalalay diyan. Nobody can tell us that they are more concerned in the success of this endeavor than us in the local government units. At with all due respect po, I consider the position as a prior restraint on the exercise of local autonomy. This is a prior restraint on our self-determination to chart our own path towards economic recovery. So Occidental Mindoro po, yan lang po ang isa sa aming tinitingnan na makakapagtulong sa amin sa pagbangon pagtapos ng pandemya. Hindi nyo po alam ang sitwasyon sa lokal. Kaya paniwalaan niyo po kami na kami po ang nandito po kami nakaharap sa hirap at kami po ang magsasabi na hindi namin papasukin ang isang endeavor kung hindi namin alam na kaya naming patakbuhin at maging successful para sa aming mga mamamayan at sa bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Sato. I think Deputy Speaker Johnny, would you like to add something, or is there anyone else who would like to comment on the said position paper?
Madam Chair, earlier the NEDA representative mentioned about the submission of some documents. May I know what kind of documents they are requiring?
Yusek, is that still the feasibility plan, master
Yes.
plan, target performance metrics, etc.?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Talaga naman magko-comply sa FIRB kayo nagsabi
Yeah, kasi I think if we have all those documents and we can review those documents, sir, I think there would be no reasons why we cannot, allow an eco zone to be established and to be developed.
No, I'm confused, Yusek. You're saying something completely different from the position paper. The position paper is very clear-cut that there will no longer be any government-funded eco zones and that it will be an entirely private endeavor. You are now saying all we need to do is to comply and there will be an eco zone?
Meron pong statement.
Eco zone, nalilito po ako. Paiba-iba pa kasi yung sinasabi nyo hindi naman magkapareho sa sulat
No, Madam Chair, it's there.
It's
I
not
think it's
clear.
number
I'm
one.
sorry, it's very clear.
The number one is there. It's the PESA law that requires this feasibility study and this master plan, and all the infrastructure, all the services, all the support amenities that ensure that any locator that's going to get into that eco zone will really be able to do their business easily. It's there. Number one po yon. And that's the PESA law.
Dito that it will be a private sector driven effort. Wala ng government na eco zone. Andito Ang liwanag sa sulat nyo Kaya nga tama si Deputy Speaker, ano ba talaga? I-approve ba ninyo kapag nag-comply kami sa lahat ng dokumento o talagang hindi ninyo a-approve dahil kailangan private sector driven na lamang?
No, Madam Chair, yun na nga, if we have all those documents, and there are funding requirements that going to be present there, and we see that it's really going to really fly, I think that would be the point of, that would be where that point of discussion will be with regards to government sharing and the LGU sharing and the private sector sharing. I think it's really just the documents that we need that really shows how this is going to be run. Hindi po namin minamaliit ang mga LGUs. Actually, an eco zone is not a development strategy. It's just one of the development strategy. I think there are so many more other strategies that government is really helping LGU with, you need to really push on their agenda. So yun lang po ang aming tinitignan, yun po yung ating talagang binabalanse. Madam Chair and Sir
Madam
Jan.
Chair, can I ask another question?
Yes, Deputy Speaker,
Yes.
naitutulong ko dito.
Again, my question is addressed to NEDA. Assuming that we prepare and submit this master plan feasibility study, will it guarantee the approval of the said ecozone?
Sir, ma'am, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Sir, yeah, that is going to be our first point of discussion. What that master plan, what that feasibility study is going to say. Ang puntos po lamang namin is that yung returns niya is really ensured. Sino ho ba itong mga investors? Ano po ba yung available dyan? Sino ba itong mga pupunta nating allocators?
Yeah,
Ano
Madam Chair, we understand already your position.
Sure po.
Inaano lang namin na, okay, we prepare all the documents, but this does not guarantee the approval.
We have to review it, sir, for,
Madam
Sir,
Chair,
muted na po
can I
kayo.
say something? Madam Chair?
Yes, if
Ay, ma'am, muted po si
Congressman
Sir.
Pimentel, na-mute po kayo. DV, 1 second lang. Let's
Yes,
ask
thank you.
Johnny's permission. John?
Yes. May tumatawag kasi. Anyway, again, Madam Chair, I did not hear the answer of NEDA.
Sir,
Neda, please repeat, you said.
Sir, yun pong mga dokumento na yon ay pag-aaralan po, i-review po natin pareho. Kasi yun po yung magpapakita sa atin kung talagang lucrative, meron talagang hinaharap itong ego zone natin. Sino ba talaga ang mga investors doon? Ano ba talaga ang kikitain nila? And all those things po. Kaya yun po yun. Well developed. And when we do that, we will be working together kasi i-review po ng NEDA, i-review po ng mga agencies, kung kailangan ng mga DENR, kung kailangan ng DA, everybody will review that
But
to
you said it's
ensure.
so categorical. We do not support the proposals. Create new publicly owned economic zones. Period. O di yari na kami niyan. Kahit mag-comply pa si Deputy Speaker Johnny ng isang bundok na papel, isang katutak na target performance metrics, lahat ng master plan, ang mahal-mahal pa magpagawa ng FS, isang katutak na gamit. O di nag-submit na kami, nagpauto na kami, binigay na namin yan. Yari pa rin eh, kasi ang liwa-liwanag, we do not support. Dito pa rin.
I think
Congressman DV, I think kanina pa si DV nagsasalita. DV, if Deputy Speaker Johnny Pimentel will allow. DV,
Yes,
please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Last year, we submitted already a strategic plan for Northern Luzon. It's called the Northern Luzon Growth Corridor. Gawa po yan lahat ng mga members ng Congress ng North. Naisubmit na namin sa NEDA. Nabasa na ba nila?
Congressman, yes, I think we have already, and I think we have already shared comments on that.
Kaya nga, so wala po nakakarating sa amin. And regarding the plans that we're talking, kasama na po dun yung mga eco zone eh.
Yun na nga eh, kasi ayaw naman namin makipag-away, Yusek, at saka kay Asik Briones. Is there no compromise position as requested by Senator Drilon? Kung ayaw ninyo ng EcoZone, anong gusto ninyo? Huwag naman ninyo sabihin, balik na naman tayo sa RDC, Public Works, PESA BOI, and the 14 katutak IPAs. Ano ba naman ang chance namin dito? Give us naman a fighting chance. Deputy Speaker Johnny Pimentel, please. Hindi pa yata kayo tapos eh. Kasi tama nga, nag-submit na kami ilang beses.
Because, Madam Chair, as I see it, they're just stalling the process. But eventually, after we have submitted everything, they will just deny it. I think they're already firm with their decision, their position, that they will not allow the approval of any eco zones anymore. So what's the use of spending so much amount of money, then eventually i-deny din naman. You know,
Madam Chair?
feasibility studies
Oo.
are not cheap.
Oo,
Madam Chair.
tama
Madam
yun.
Chair,
Ang
can I
mahal ng mga
respond?
consultant dyan. Yes, Yusek.
Yeah, I think the proposals that are being mentioned in the letter are the current proposals now. The how many bills yon? Asek Brion? 15? I think that is the proposals that is being mentioned in that letter, that's being covered by the letter. But if those proposals, will submit the needed documentation for our review, for the economic managers and all other agencies review, and they will fly, and they can be.
Yusek, nalilito ako. Ano ngayon ang papel ng FIRB? Parang nawala ng papel yung FIRB kasi they will determine the target performance metrics as conditions.
I think that's in relation to if they are going to go
Incentives
through
lang yan.
in create, yeah. Asek Brion, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, those would be policies for the grant of incentives, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we should just submit all that paper. Like Deputy Speaker, I have my doubts that we will be approved in any case. Are there any LGUs that wish to comment? Governor Velasco is here. I think the congressmen are also here. Congressman Gasataya is here. Is there anyone who would like to comment? Yes, yes, Governor Velasco, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to everyone. Well, there are many grounds for opposition contained in the position paper, but I would just like to focus on the financial aspect. I think one of the main reasons possibly why there is an opposition to the proposed bills that seek to create the economic zones is the amount of money or contribution that will be provided by the national government. Now, the LGUs are involved, and I just want to make a record that the LGUs still have a claim against the national government pertaining to the ruling in Mandanas versus Choa. That it's our position that there is still an additional tax allotment that is due to the local government units pertaining to the second half of 2019, 2020, and 2021. I know the amount subject of the bills that will be provided by the national government will be around 10 billion, no? So if the claim of the LGUs for the back era that came about by reason of the rendition of the decision in Mandanas versus Choa will be provided to LGUs, that will be more than ample to support the financial requirements of these 10 economic zones. In addition, for 2022, the national government decided to deduct the amount of 89 billion as forming part of the special purpose funds, no? But we have submitted our position that this 89 billion pesos should not be deducted from the national tax allotments of the LGUs in the country. And if we take 40% of the 89 billion, that is 35 billion that is due to the local government units, no? And considering this claim of the LGUs for the back era in the years 2019, 2020, and 2021, which has a total of around close to 700 billion pesos. And the amount of share, the amount of 35 billion, that is the share of the local government units from the amounts which we feel was uh, regularly deducted, because we feel there is no legal basis for the deduction, then I think there is sufficient money to provide and satisfy the financial requirements for the 10 bills, no? So I think it's more of the financial requirements of the proposed projects. And I feel that uh, possibly DOF can uh, consider the claim of the LGUs that 89 billion that was previously deducted as forming part of the special purpose funds should be reinstated, no? And with that, if we get the 40%, then that will be more than ample to satisfy the financial requirements of 10 billion for this economic zone, no? So I think it's more of the financial aspect of the 10 bills that will create the economic zone. Well, of course, as I said, nobody can be sure whether these economic zones will be a failure or not, no? But as correctly pointed out by Governor Sato, former Governor Sato, and the others, we must give these proponents a chance to set up the economic zones, no? Definitely, there can be no certainty as to the success of these ventures, but at least it will give us the opportunity by which we can possibly make our respective areas progressive. We feel that this may only be the vehicle that can help propel us to getting the sufficient sources of revenues for our low-ranked provinces, more particularly our province, no? So I believe that this 10 bill should be approved and given the full support of the national government. That's all, Madam Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the distinguished Justice and President of the League of Provinces. Does Congressman Gasataya wish to weigh in as well on the issues at hand?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Gandang umaga po lahat sa lahat. No? So anyway, just re-echo the sentiment of the good governor, citing the case, for example, of Bacolod City, that the national government has been pouring a lot of investments here, no, for economic development. During the previous hearing, I cited that billions of pesos na po yung nailagay ng national government for the establishment of the Bacolod Negros Economic Highway. You know, and aside from that, there's a property owned by the national government, the old Bacolod Airport. So for us, malaking bagay po to. So we really join the manifestation na dapat mabigyan po ng pagkakataon itong mga 10 new economic zones po dito sa atin sa bansa. Salamat po, Madam Chair. Magandang umaga ulit.
Yes, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to weigh in? Minority Leader, if there does not appear to be any way forward or a middle ground or a compromise in this joint position paper as you requested, what do you recommend the Senate and the House do at this juncture?
Thank you, Madam Chair. From where I sit, we should assert the authority of the Congress to propose policies embodied in a law, subject, of course, to our system of check and balance, meaning the authority of the executive branch to veto. That is how the system works. So, in my humble view, Madam Chair, we recommend to the plenary the approval of these measures, debate it on the floor, convince the majority that these bills would benefit our country, particularly countryside development, particularly the authority of the local governments to chart their own and plan their own economic future. And leave. I cannot speak for the plenary, of course, because that's subject to the the vote of the majority. But if you're asking me what we'll do as a committee, that is my suggestion. We submit a committee report to the plenary, let the plenary debate on it, and let's see what happens afterwards. But we should not cop out and not report anything to the plenary. I believe that we should assert our authority to propose policies. The policy here is to allow the local governments is to locate economic zones in the areas designated by the various committees, by the various bills from the House, and we schedule the committee report to a debate on the floor, and let the floor decide what to do. But I submit that we should assert our authority, starting with the committee, to propose amendment policies, which is the role of a legislature in a system of government. Which, as I said at the start of my intervention, I have noted that in the last several years, it's getting eroded and getting to be, it's not good for the democracy. You recall, Madam Chair, and since I have the floor, when we debated on the CREATE bill, this is the first time that I see a national internal revenue code included amendments which grants incentives, totally alien to an internal revenue code, to the setting, to the rules on the taxation. And I made clear my position to the plenary that allowing this kind of a system, which in the first place could be violative of the Constitution, as our esteemed former justice would attest. There should only one subject in a bill. Here you have created both a taxation and an incentive bill, totally alien to each other. But my point was, let us not combine the two, because the executive will consider this as a revenue measure subject to the line item veto. That's exactly what happened. We had very good policy decisions, proposals, which were incorporated in the law in consultation with the Department of Finance. What happened? The president exercised his line item veto on a revenue measure and exercises line item veto to veto policy provisions in the CREATE bill, which if we had split into two, would not have been possible. So that is why in this particular issue, Madam Chair, I would, you ask my position. My position is, let us report out the bills to the floor. Where even if it's the chances of its being approved is below zero, never mind. As a matter of principle, we assert the independence and the authority, the superior authority of Congress to propose policies. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. And before I urge Your Honor to convert your suggestion into a motion, may I merely ask the NEA for further information on performance ratings of the electric co-ops to be affected by the passage of the Ecozone bills. May I also urge the sponsors of the bill in proposed ecozones located near each other or within the same province to consult with the PEZA so that we are not burdened with that opposition. And these are the two Mindoros, as well as the third ecozone, as well as Surigao del Sur. So with that, I urge the Minority Leader now, that is a motion, I believe, to endorse this as a committee report. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We formally move that the pending bills before this committee concerning the establishment of the economic zones in the various cities and municipalities in the country be submitted to the plenary, be favorably endorsed for enactment, so that we can properly thrash this out in plenary. We so move, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. There's no objection to the motion of the Minority Leader. These bills are now going to be contained in a committee report that will be subject to the submission of the information requested earlier, endorsed to the plenary. Thank you very much to
Madam
Senator
Chair.
Dillon. Yes, sorry. Senator Pia, sorry. Yes, hi, Pia.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't see
Yeah.
you earlier.
Yeah, I've actually been listening to the exchange, no? So I'd just like to put on record that I'm present. And number two, given that this is an amendment to create, we may submit some comments or any reservations or concerns that we have. But we'll just study the matter further. We were taking the time to listen to our colleagues, and I'd also like to greet them as well. So that's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Pia. With all due respect, these are just ecozone bills that do not seek to amend in any way the CREATE, but instead uphold the policies embodied in CREATE.
Yes, I understand. That's why I'm not posing an objection. I'm just saying that I'm listening to their concern. In fact, initially what came to my mind is if they want to put up an ecozone, that's their prerogative. If they believe that it will pursue their economic ideals and goals for their areas, that's their prerogative. I would just like to study on my own separately what is the impact on the national government, because I understand that there are requirements for national government funding. So that's all.
Thank you very much, Senator Pia. Thank you, and apologies for the late recognition. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng ating mga mambabatas narito and all the other officials. Thank you very much to the Minority Leader for his vigorous participation and insight. With that, we will try to draft a committee report as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Move
you,
to
Madam
adjourn.
Chair.
Yes,
I
Tito
move
Frank.
to adjourn,
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
And
Yes,
I
Mr.
move to
Leader
adjourn the
Frankie,
committee
thank you.
meetings.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gov. Thanks. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Madam
you,
Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Madam Chair.
Salamat. Ala, hindi nag